Evening then, this is the Pelikan podcast, and tonight we're reviewing the songs from the album Travis the Man Who. Joining us is our bass player Andy from Pelikan Rogue.
Evening all.
Andy, how you doing? And our amazing drummer Adrian as well. Hi Adrian, how you getting on tonight?
Evening. Not too bad.
Good.
You making up your comments last week, is it?
This is Adrian's first, and also tonight we have Nick Morgan. Hi Nick.
All right.
How you doing?
Hi guys. Good.
You look a bit different for the picture we've got.
Was that for a catalogue, mate?
A couple of years ago that was.
Was that like a catalogue shoot, or was it?
I think it was pre-stage. Oktoberfest 2 years ago.
Right, Nick, so what made you choose us to review the 1999 Travis album Man Who? So what made you?
Just albums that way. What was it, released in 1999? I must have been 15, I think, at the time. So it's just kind of good memories, I suppose, from it as well, and being a Scottish band as well. I think that's what kind of I liked about them at first, was the fact they were Scottish. Then kind of got into the album, obviously, and I think it is a classic.
Did you get into them like before the Man Who, like the Good Feeling album, or?
I heard about the Good Feeling album, so I don't know if you guys have listened to the Good Feeling album before.
1997, 2 years before the Man Who. I think it was almost, but I think the thing was the Man Who was almost written even when there was, recording the Good Feeling album. So I think all songs that they had for this were already written in some capacity for this album already.
But I think that's
2 years. That's not a long time for in between. Grand scheme of things.
I think the three albums were quite 2 years. No, Good Feeling 97, Man Who 99, the Invisible Band 2001. So it was quite a lot of songwriting.
I'd heard Good Feeling before. I remember the time because it was just after Britpop. So we were big into Oasis and all that. And I remember Tied to the 90s. So I remember seeing that in the chart show and things like that. But to be honest, I didn't really get into them till right into Reach You, but we'll come on to all that. So Travis the Man Who, as you say, it's a second studio album by Travis. It was released the 24th of May 1999, just after their Good Feeling album. The album had 4 singles, Right Into Reach You, Driftwood, and 2 top 10 hits were Why Does It Always Rain On Me and Turn. And it had slow sales at the start, the album, and I don't think it was critically acclaimed at the start either. There was a few kind of dodgy reviews, because one of the big reviews was Stuart Bailey for the NME, and Stuart Bailey he objected to the band's decision to scale back the rowdy aspects of Good Feeling to make a record overloaded with ballads, and the NME gave the album a 6.5 out of 10. Danny Eccleston, who is a Q magazine critic and writer, he wrote that the Man Who loses momentum after its first 4 songs, with the remainder of the album being almost tyrannically tasteful. The Q mag gave it a 3-star. They got a decent review from Steve Lowe for Select. He felt that without much musical innovation or defining statement, the album showcases the band as ordinary chaps making extraordinary pretty music. So he thought that, but the album, I think what made the album was the Glastonbury 1999 performance when they played and it rained when they played Why Does It Always Rain On Me, and it made the front page of the papers, and that's what pushed that band, and that's what pushed that album. So we've got a wee interview that we'll show bits of as we go through this tonight, and that's what they say. That they say that the album was charted at like number 30 and it was going down, and then after that Glastonbury it come up the charts.
I mean, I don't know if Scott's got this up in front of him, right? But I mean, he's talking about how the success of the album never came to after the album was released. I mean, it was, I think it was 2010, Scott. It was nominated for the best album of the past 30 years, and it lost. Who did it lose to?
What's the story? Morning Glory.
There you go.
That's when there you go. Number 2.
Aye. He's got it out in front of him. He's got it out in front of him.
So was the Man Who number 2 to that?
So no, but it was nominated in the category. Obviously.
I don't know what the ratings were.
And it was also in 2006. It was named the 70th greatest album of all time in the Q magazine.
Yeah, the Q magazine love their indie music. I'm sure Biffy Clyro fans wouldn't agree with that, but I think for the genre they're in, they were pretty good, and they've got I don't know about you, but listening to the Travis Man Who, and then like you get into that YouTube rabbit hole where like other stuff comes up, and the songs that band had were amazing. So the way this works is we'll go through the album, and each song, and the forays are going to give each song a rating out of 10, and we add those ratings up, divide it by 4, and then that's the average for that song. We go through the whole album, listening to bits of the songs, and then there'll be a final average score. So last week we did Heathen Chemistry with my mate Mark Clarkson shoes, and between the three is me, Andy, and him, we marked that 6.4. So right now in the Pelikan podcast, that's the leading album because it's the first one we've done. So let's see if the Man Who can beat 6.4. If you are listening live, drop us a comment. We've got Robert McGuinness, who is watching at the moment. He's saying already that Driftwood from the album is his favourite. That's track number 4. Yeah, let's get... So thanks for listening, Robert. What I'll do is we'll get the first song up and ready to go.
Every day I wake up and it's Sunday. Whatever's in my head won't go.
So the first song, Writing to Reach You. Let's go first with Nick. What do you make of the first song of the album, Writing to Reach You?
Love it. Absolutely brilliant. I think for an opener for an album, and as I say, just after Good Feeling, which is total different, just to like kind of listen to that. If you're first hearing it after buying Good Feeling, you'd be like, what is this? Just so, as I say, just so different to Good Feeling. Just even the start of it, that kind of, I don't know if it's like a reverse guitar they use or something, that kind of prolonged bit at the start, you know what I mean? Before it kicks in.
That's the producer for you, innit? He was into all that kind of stuff.
I think in that album, like he was like the 5th member of the band, Nigel Woodrich, you know what I mean? I think there's so many songs in the album that, as you just do an acoustic guitar, they're brilliant tracks, but without all his wee here and there, it just wouldn't be what it is, you know what I mean? So I think it's brilliant. Even like the opening line, I think it's just every day I wake up and it's Sunday. It's just that I think it kind of sets the tone for the whole album. Like this is kind of the album. Everything that goes, to wake up on a Sunday and you're just, whether it's rough or, you know what I mean? It's a great opening line, great song to start off with. So,
what do you get? So, what was your score for that out of 10?
8.5 for me. I was listening to like interviews and he's saying it is a breakup album. It's basically that song was written about his girlfriend at the time who left him. Went off to like go to St Andrews to become a doctor. So it's basically him saying, I think at that point he was like writing her loads of letters and stuff like that. So he's basically just saying, I'm writing to reach you. And it is, if you listen to the lyrics, it is about him. In the song, which we'll talk about next, The Fear, that's about her as well. So I just think it's a brilliant song. Even the lyrics, that, as I say, the opening line, and obviously the reference to Wonderwall as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think it's Wonderwall chords as well.
That's what I just basically kind of stole it off.
Yeah. Well done, Nick. That's really hard fought like you on for.
No,
first song, brilliant.
But as I'm saying, I think he said as well. He was just. I think at the time you had what was his name that done it? Who done the Mike Flowers? done the cover. I think that was kind of around, but he said it was just constantly getting played. So he was just mucking about the guitar. But he had that. What's the song? 74, 74.
Yeah, that's in it as well. Yeah,
and he kind of was just mucking about, and he just thought, I'll just steal the Oasis chords and.
Yeah, because he probably thought he'd never hear it, you know.
Because I'm not going to meet Noel anyway, so it's quite a thing to do that weekend as if you're.
Adrian, what about yourself?
Again, like Nick said, I think the start of that song's great. Like when I listened to the album, and I've listened to it like twice today already, I thought, what other song could you put at the start? And there's like nothing that fits in. When you listen to that and it's like so catchy, you just think, right, I want more. Like what's coming next from that? And like just even the lyrics, when you listen to the lyrics, how it's written, it's just it sticks in your head. Like you remember, because everything is the kind of opposite of what he's saying from that. So I think it's great. I like the guitar solo as well.
Banjo type thing.
But especially the start. I mean, that's probably one of the favourite bits of that song is the start, just how it, especially because it is the first. Like that. So I give it an 8 out of 10.
Good.
And it's like again, it's one of the singles from the album, so it's I think it's gonna be highly rated, but no, it's good. A really good song. Probably one of my favourite ones off the album, actually, I think.
Excellent. Nick, what were you coming in with there?
As Adrian was saying, I like the first song in the album, brilliant song to start it off with. But I think what's good about this album is like you can look at other albums, be like, oh, I'd maybe put that song at the end, I'd put this song here. But see with Man Who, I think that the track listing is brilliant.
Yeah, that's something we'll come to as well. Yeah, so you reckon, because that's a big thing about albums, and you're happy with the track listings. Whereas last week discussing Heathen Chemistry, like I think we all agreed, Andy, that we could have maybe juked them about a wee bit, but who are we, man? We are, I mean, it sold 4.5 million records, but in our opinion, we thought but
some of the tracks could have been different ordered.
What about yourself, Andy boy? Good bass player, Travis as well.
He was very good. He was brilliant, you know. And Travis, for me, you know, I was I really liked it. Big fan. I've nothing really more to add. You know, it's just a great song. As I say, it's something about the song when it starts. You know, you think, and for me, it's quite. It's one of the easiest listening albums you'll ever. You know, you'll ever be able to sit down and listen to, and it doesn't matter what kind of music you're into. I think it's something that everybody can relate to. But right to reach, I'm the same as Adrian. You know, I'd go straight in with an 8.
Well, I'm also coming in with an 8 for it. Right to reach you and again back to you. That's a memory for me. That song. I know exactly what I was doing and where I was when that song was in the charts. Like I know that I was going to the Dante's for my vodka and Red Bull and all that. I know it was sunny and you know it's just a great song, beautiful song, and I'll give that an 8 as well. So we'll get into the band a wee quick, maybe couple of minutes. We'll go to an interview the band did with Virgin Radio. But we've got Charlie Stratton, Andy's dad, a big fan of our band and a big fan of music as well. So evening to Charlie. How are you getting on, Charlie?
Evening.
And we also have Liam Cooper. So Liam,
get that out right now.
So Liam's watching as well. Eric Young, Andy Stratton, the legend.
Cheers, Gaffer. Brilliant.
Great stuff. Right, so what we'll do is we'll get into this interview. We'll do a wee bit of the interview that was done with Virgin Radio.
I remember that. So the video we shot it in 2 days. It ended up being 3 days because there's a scene in the video where we had a Messerschmitt.
Yes.
Fly about 20 feet over my head.
The director got the idea because of the guitar kind of.
Yeah. And but the guy who was going to fly the plane apparently got his secretary had sprayed perfume, and he got it in his eyes, and his eyes had swollen up.
Oh wow!
So he had to cancel. And it's, you know, what making videos is like. It's a real, because you've only got a certain amount of time.
Oh, it's expensive.
And it's so, and this is the first video for our thing, and it was just falling apart. As soon as we turned up, it was like, But we got an extra day. We got insurance, paid for an extra
brilliant.
day, and we got it sorted out. But I fell in a field. It was so cold.
Oh, it was a frozen ploughed field. That's right.
It was
Absolutely Baltic.
and a frozen ploughed field, and I fell over on it, and I gave myself the worst dead leg ever. And then had to.
I don't think I've had a dead leg since school.
Yeah, it was a bad one.
And you were wearing steel toe cap boots, I remember.
And
And
they
your
were-
toes were ice, like freezing. That's right.
Tell me back to the writing of it. So, you know, famously, you've inverted the chords of Wonderwall. Is that folklore? Or is that actually is what you did?
Well, there's two sources. There's 74, 75.
Yeah.
The do 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 dum do 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 dum. And I was trying to work out what the chords were to Wonderwall. That's why I put the line in, "What's a Wonderwall?" anyway, in case in some other galaxy, because it's written in the coldest flat in Glasgow, on the Dole.
Yeah.
And in some faraway galaxy, maybe we might meet Noel, and he'll know that that's the chords. And I have to put a little line to go. Look, I know I'm. Thanks for the chords.
There's lots of icy iconography in this record, you know. Videos,
Yeah.
cold flats, the cover.
Talk to us about the cover. Where was the cover shot?
Just outside
Aviemore.
Aviemore,
Was it a
Scotland.
particularly long shoot, or was it quite a quick?
We went. It was long.
Right, guys, some interesting stuff there. It shows how humble they were as a band. They're actually likeable, aren't they? Like, see, when you're sitting there talking to them, they're just. Fran Healy's a very likeable guy. Right, let's move on. We're going to get on to the next two songs in a row, and we'll do them in a row. The first one we're going to hear is "The Fear." Right, here we go.
But closer every year, so near. The fear is coming clear, my dear. The fear is here. Hottest summer in 100 years.
Okay, then, "The Fear" by Travis. So, guys, what do you think of that? We'll start off with Adrian this time. Adrian, what do you think?
Again, I quite like the start of that song. Like, again, it's another song that I think it starts well, but it seems to die away from me. Like, nothing seems to really happen in it. It's one of these ones, every time I listen to it, I have a different feeling on it. And I've listened to it in the car like this week, and I'm thinking, actually, that's okay, that's quite good. And I've listened to it other times, and I've just thought, nah, it doesn't really do much for me. Again, it starts good. It's kind of quite chill, but I just feel something's missing in it. And I don't really know what either. A 5.5 out of 10 is what I gave that one.
Well, that's just above average. So that's all right. Andy?
I quite like it. You know, it's just an easy listening song. It carries on well. I think there probably is a wee bit more. That beginning bit, you can hear that kind of OK computer type synthy type keyboard at the beginning of it and everything like that. It was quite a feature on. It also sounds a bit like the start of, well, what one is it? The Pink Floyd song. That just came into my head there, and I can't even think of the name of the song now, which is terrible. But no, I think it's a really good follow-up track. You know, I gave it a 6. So I mean,
a 6 out of 10.
Aye,
Nick?
6 out of 10.
I agree with both Adrian as in what did they say now? I can't remember his point he said, sorry.
Just want more.
I said there's something missing. That's what I said.
Adrian said it dies away.
No, it was something positive about it. What the hell did you say now? Anyway, I'll go back to Andy's point as in saying, I think it follows on for the writing to reach you so well. As I say, the track list on this is absolutely brilliant. So I think it just kind of follows on so well. And once again, it's like Nigel Godric's working wonders with this song, because if this was an acoustic guitar, it'd just be, I think it would fall flat. But I think he's done wonders with it. Having the fear that his bud's going to break up with him, he just knows something's coming. He can tell things ain't right. So that's what that song's about, basically, him knowing that it's going to happen. I can agree with Adrian, it doesn't really go anywhere, but also agree that it's one of these songs I've been listening to, and sometimes I'm like, that's bloody brilliant. Other times I'm like, oh, No, not for you.
Same. And it's trying to rate it. I was really hard because I would change it every single time.
And that's why I kept changing my kind of ratings on. So I was like, I'm loving it. I'm like, but then some days you listen to it like, no, I'm not gonna skip it. You know what I mean? So I gave it a 6.
I think it's one of the mood songs, though, isn't it? Like, if you're in the right mood, then it's great, and if not, then you just think, nah, skip.
I was just gonna say that. Do you think it's one of these songs where it depends on what kind of mood you're in? But you know, there's nothing. As I said, I think it flows well with the previous. But I like all the kind of there's like strange noises through it and things like that. There's like wee synthy noises and you know.
Yeah, it's a good production. I like it. So say somebody's putting a song out and they're calling it The Fear. I'm not listening to that. The first time I hear that, I'm saying, right, it's The Fear. So I'm not listening to Come On Feel the Noise by Slade. Do you know what I mean? I'm expecting a song embodies what the fear is. Do you know, everybody's The Fear on the couch. Oh no, man. And that song does it well with all the wee noises in it. The production's amazing. I get what Adrian's saying, but it doesn't go anywhere. But the fear doesn't go anywhere either.
It's a good title.
It's going to be getting worse.
I think that's right. As obviously, the song being about him knowing that his bird's going to break up with him, it's quite like an anxious feeling. And I think all the stuff that's going on in it never goes anywhere. It's not a catchy chorus. It's just this kind of, you don't know what's going on. You know what I mean? I think that's kind of quite relevant to the fact that what the song's about, as in he knows that he's about to get chucked. So he's got this anxious feeling, and you know what I mean? It's just that there's no hook, there's no obvious structure in it. It's just this kind of what the hell's going on, which is quite relevant to what he's saying about what's happening with his relationship.
Okay, guys, let's. So as I said, I gave that a 6.5. The Fear. So that average total 6. We'll move on, and we'll do the next song, which is As You Are.
Since I woke up, I felt the net was lifting me out of the sea. Even when I'm sinking, I feel the need. It's okay to lead me on. I must admit it's not much fun.
Well, I'll start this one. I love it because there's a chord change in it that I've tried to write a song with, and it's playing a C, then lifting your index finger off, so the start to it. So it's like so play the C. And the other part of that song that I love is the guitar solo. I wonder if I can get it. Let's see. This is the build up to the guitar solo. For me, this bit is the song. And it's a great guitar sound as well. So that song's up there with like Maka lying steaming in the couch helicopter heads, which I've loads of these songs, like Gas Panic, Oasis, and As You Are is one of them. So I gave As You Are a 7 out of 10. Nick, what about yourself?
Absolute brilliant song. I think it's one of these ones you just kind of forget how good it is until even just hearing it on this podcast back, you're like, that's bloody brilliant. You know what I mean? It's I was saying, I think for me the best bit is the guitar solo is classic, so it kicks in, but see, like Fran Healy's ability, which is what they did better than anyone at the time, was his ability to just be this kind of, I don't know if he sings like right close into the mic. I don't know if that's his like Nigel Godrich technique or not, but he just sings right close in. That his son's got this kind of angelic voice that just kind of kicks right in out of nowhere. You know what I mean? He's just
Yeah.
got, it's like a controlled kind of yell. You know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah.
it's not like, it's just either way he does it, just goes for nothing. I think, as I say, I think his vocals in this are brilliant. I think
the whole album, yeah.
The whole album, but I think Van Healy's vocals in this are just so good. As I say, it's not a song that's got a catchy chorus. Then again, it fits really well in with the album.
What are you giving that one, Nick?
I'm giving that 7 as well.
Andy, what about yourself?
See, I'm gonna get absolutely slated here. I mean, I do love the song, right? But
not that much.
No.
I want to know what you gave it now.
I found this. I mean, I've marked this really hard, you know, and there was only a couple of songs in the album I think that could go anywhere below, and this was one of them. I don't know why. Maybe it was just the way I was feeling that day. But every time you listen to it again, you think, wow, that is a good song. It's a brilliant song. You know, it's got so many good elements to it. I gave it a 5, right? I gave it a 5, right? And the reason being is, I think when I listened to it like yesterday again, I was doing bits and pieces as well. I was just doing bits and pieces and things like that, and just, you know, I'm thinking, is it the strongest song in the album? Probably not, but it's a good song, you know. And I think that was the reason I marked it down, because I couldn't think of any other, apart from one other song in the album, I could only mark 2 songs down lower than.
Yeah, you know, I know what you mean. Yeah.
It was hard, really hard for me.
Adrian?
I'm with like you and Nick. I like the song. Like, it's such a good build to that song. Almost every time I hear it, it reminds me of Muse. Like, I'm a massive Muse fan, and there's something about it that reminds me of Muse. Probably there's a song on the Absolution album called Falling Away. And it's kind of similar-esque to that. It reminds me of that. I think it's just a big scream.
The vibe of the song, or the heavy bit of the song, yeah.
The full song, just how it builds.
I can see your kind of thing with the vocal as well, because it's got that kind of vocal range of what a kind of Mark Velvet type.
I think it's a song in the album though that's probably like underrated in some aspect. It's probably like folk will probably listen to the album, they'll listen to about 5 or 10 seconds of that song and skip. Whereas they're missing like halfway through that song when it does kick in. Like, it's great.
It caught me straight away when I first heard that song.
I think that's maybe why I've marked it down, because, you know, maybe I have
10 seconds you've just skipped it. Is that what you've done, Andy?
Then later on, later on the song, I've listened to the album that many times, you know, and
if it still doesn't get you after a few times, that's what it's all about. That's how you.
I think what I'm looking for I was looking for the start of that song to be better than what it was.
Andy, don't worry, it's all right.
That's all right. I'm fine. I'm cool with it.
Jackie, my beautiful wife, she's watching from while also watching some on Netflix probably. She says it's got she thinks it has a Queen vibe.
Does she mean that song or that?
I don't know. I think she does mean that song. I'm trying to think of the Queen if that's what she thinks. I actually get Jackie to rate it herself, the album, and she didn't. I've not written hers down, but I don't think. It's one of the ones that I loved, and then she heard it, and did you know that way? You love a song and you want somebody to hear it, and you want them to love it as much as you. She just wasn't having it. But anyway, so the next song we're going to listen to is their second single, and this song is called Driftwood.
Watching bridges burn, your driftwood floating underwater. Breaking into pieces, just driftwood, hollow and of no use. Waterfalls will find you.
Okay then, Driftwood by Travis. That was their second single of the album, and absolute cracking song. Another one for the time. Absolutely love it. I gave it an 8.5 out of 10 because In fact, I think, one of my favourite in the album. 8.5 out of 10. Great song. Used to sing it all the time, karaoke. Quite hard to sing, but I can sing anything because I'm fucking brilliant at singing. So, definitely, I struggle many a time singing that. But just a very, very good pop song. Andy, Mr. 5 out of 10 for As You Are.
I agree with you, Scott. I mean, it's just one of these songs where I think it's a big festival tune as well, isn't it? Really?
Yeah.
It's got that. It's just got that. You could play that anywhere, and everybody would sing with you. Do you know what I mean? So it's just one of these songs. It's for me. It was 8. Out of 10 for that. No doubt. It's just a great song. Just very well written.
Nick,
favourite Travis song ever. To be fair, it's actually like one of my favourite songs ever. To be fair, I think it's absolutely brilliant. I just like what it's about. As in, like, I think it's written. He wrote it about. I don't even know how he wrote it. Like, can I watch an episode of Cheers? And,
sorry, what was that, Nick?
He wrote this song. Basically, he was watching an episode of Cheers.
All right.
And one of the employees was saying one of the employees had the manager talk to another employer saying, "We're getting rid of all the driftwood at the company, sacking folk." So he kind of was like, it's a cool expression. So he's doing the dishes, and somebody just came to him in the chorus. He's just doing dishes. He just came, "You're driftwood." I'm like, madness. He said he just went up and recorded it straight away on his wee 12-track recorder. So that's how it came out. And there's still the demo out and about. You can hear it. I don't know. I tried to find it, but
that's amazing research, Nick Morgan.
No. Brilliant. I find it class so that way you can just be watching an episode of Cheers. A Scottish guy is watching an American programme. He comes up with that expression, or the term driftwood, doing the dishes. I'll just come up with this amazing song. So he done that, and as I say, the songs about, which I quite like, is that you there's people in life with so much potential, but they just don't really, they're scared in case they fall on their arse, and they're just kind of happy to drive through life. And you know what I mean? I think a lot of folk can relate to that. So you're just kind of drifting through life, and you're just driftwood. I think it's brilliant. 9 for me.
Adrian?
Again, it's like one of the singles off that album, so it's going to be a belter. But actually, see, if you said a couple of years ago about that song, I would have said, "Oh, that's a great song." But see, the more I've listened to it this week, I've actually liked it less and less. But I'm doing an Andy here, aren't I? Everyone loves it, and I'm like, actually, nah. I don't know what it is. It's another song.
Your score's not bad though, so your first listen was up there.
7.5.
Aye, your score's not bad.
I don't know. There was just every time I listen to it now, there's just something missing for me.
There's songs do that though. There is songs when you listen to them and listen to them and listen to. There's very popular songs. There's a very popular song in this album that, I mean, you've got to score it well, but it's played. I mean, you've got to try and listen the first time you heard it. Yeah. Wonderwall, Oasis, can't stand. I walk out when it comes on. See when I go to an Oasis concert and it's Wonderwall. Don't Look Back in Anger's alright, it's a sing along, but Wonderwall just, oh God, man, every time. But anyway, so Adrian 7.5, Andy 8, Nick 9, and an 8.5 for me. So right now that's our favourite song of the album, and it's an average of 8.2. The next song we're going to listen to on the album is The Last Laugh of the Laughter.
It's the last laugh of the laughter sur la dernière page de chapitre on the last day of the year, ma vie, toute ma vie.
Okay then, The Last Laugh of the Laughter, song number 5, so just after Driftwood. Adrian, what did you make of that song?
Again, I find that's just, like what Blair's just said there, it's an album filler in it. It's just another song you put in there. Again, another one, nothing really happens in it, so I found it quite boring.
Is that no Delamitri?
That song, Yank?
No, nothing ever happens. Is that no Delamitri? Oh my God, man, way over the head tonight. I better just.
Right.
I don't know. I think like that.
My patter's rotten.
I was listening to. I was reading something there about this song, but it's.
So it's not something I'd really go to on the album. Definitely not. From that, so obviously my rating was quite low. I only gave that a 4.
I gave it a 6 out of 10. I like it. I like the wee. I love the start of it, and it's got a very popular wee kind of melody kind of bit in at the start, and it goes with that kind of major chords, like very very happy, and then when he sings. It's a juxtapose. He's singing differently to it. I'd love to hear the demo of that, how that started. But that's what Jackie, when we listened to it in the car, was like, "God, this sounds great." And then he sings, and I'm still listening. But she was like, "Nah, bugger up, turn that over." But I like it. I think it's a nice wee song. I like his wee French bit in it. I appreciate the song. I appreciate what he was trying to do with it. But I'm giving it a 6. Nick.
I agree with Adrian in that, and Blair. It kind of is for me a mid-album filler. It doesn't really do much. It's tough to rate this, as I say, because this album fits quite well. You know what I mean? It's not out of place, but I think one good thing about the song is the way they place it in the album. Like for the next song we're going to talk about, it's placed so well. Like if you think of what song's coming next, if you listen to the album and you've got Driftwood. And then this song, and then the next song, it's like, wow, I think that's one thing that makes it good. But if you were to just pick out a song, obviously say to like Adrian, listen to this song. Well, I never would do that, you know what I mean? But I give it a 5. It's just for me, it's
an album song, isn't it? It's only an album for a reason.
I think everybody, you know, is basically summed it up, you know. Scott, you like it again? I like the song. I've got no qualms with the song. No, there's nothing different. I gave it a 5. Along with same as Nick. I think it is a bit of an album filler.
Yeah.
But in saying that, then if you look at the running order, what you've got coming next, you couldn't have the 3 songs sitting together.
It's not a song. You'd never, like, you know what popular songs are, Nick. You go every week and you've got to play popular songs. I think with Travis, you'll sing a few Travis songs, I'm sure. You sing Slide, don't you?
Driftwood, Twice I Was Running Me, Writing to Reach You. In fact, is that coming? I think I've done only that. You see, Writing to Reach You, some songs you don't realise how good they are until you play on an acoustic guitar and you look at the lyrics. See, Writing to Reach You, I was never a massive fan until maybe a few months ago when I learned an acoustic guitarist and you kind of look at the lyrics.
Yeah.
What a great song. I remember I played it maybe about 6 months ago, and there was a guy, must have been about 18, 19-year-old pop, he just came up and was like, "What was that song you just played?" I probably didn't do it justice, but he was like, I went, that way. I mean, Travis Writing to Reach You was like, loving it. And that makes, you know, I mean, the guy's probably never heard that song in his life, but.
Yeah, you probably never did it justice, but anyway,
you know.
Only joke. No, it's a great song. No, so is that the same chords as? How similar is it chords wise to Wonderwall? Is there a capo on it, or
like you're kind of going, yeah. So I've got. Today is gonna be the day that they're gonna talk back to you then. Every day I wake up and it's Sunday. It's just, you know what I mean? So it kind of is.
And you can sing over, so it's also this, because there's 3 songs like that. You've got Wonderwall, you could actually sing Writing to Reach You over the top of it, and Boulevard of Broken Dreams over the top of it, the Green Day.
It was in Napster. You could download in Napster years ago. That was one of the big kind of things. Was
I remember that.
The mashup.
The mashup.
Okay, guys, so let's move on to the next song. This one is called Turn. Turn, Nick.
I don't know. I think it's just obvious. It's a cracking song. That way, there's, you know what I mean. I think it's just absolutely brilliant. I think the chorus is, just. I think obviously going to like Travis live gigs, see that song live is mental. It's the chorus, and I just think it's such a sing along song in it, and like the chorus, catchy chorus.
So hard to sing.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what he does best. We'll see the start, but just quite a simple kind of whatever he's doing.
Once we're finished with this, we'll listen to the video, and he talks obviously about Driftwood, and then he talks about Turn, and he talks about the production in Turn, and there's 30 takes of his vocal.
Was that what it was?
The producer took, and he's pieced it all together to get that high. So he's saying he is singing it, but he's not singing that.
Oh, so he's took like different takes of the vocal. All right, okay.
Oh, that's cool. Producers are amazing. I mean, they are like. What did you give that song, Turn?
Turn. That was an 8 for me. I think it was just below. I think it was, for me, it wasn't as good as Writing to Reach You, which I gave an 8.5, but just below Writing to Reach You, I gave it an 8. 8 out of 10.
Yeah, I agree with you. I gave it an 8 as well. I think the 4 singles in this song are like, they're all classic anthems. They're all classic anthems.
Big tracks.
Yeah, Turn it's like Dakota for Stereophonics. It's the first bar of the song. You just know what's coming, and you get it. And then festival wise, that chorus, everybody's singing that. Everybody's singing it. In fact, don't get me wrong, Andy, if you can look it up, but I don't know if you can, but I bet you any money that Turn must be their last song in their tours. Like if you're going live, do you think Turn will be their kind of finale? Adrian, what did you mean? Nick, I've gave that an 8. Adrian, what about yourself?
That was my favourite song off the album. Right? Like that's every time that comes on, like I can put that on repeat. Again, it's just great. I think because it's got like just even the structure of it. It's got like the verse, then you've got a pre-chorus, then you've got the chorus. I mean, even the pre-chorus just sets that up great, I think, into that. So I rated that 8.5.
And Andy?
I think it's still behind Writing to Reach You and Driftwood.
Here we go.
Big anthem though. Massive anthem.
There's Andy putting a downer on it now.
It's behind these 2 songs, I
think it's still... but I'm not rating it down because it's still a classic song. Do you know what I mean? So for me, it's a 7. It's just it's a great solid song. It's massive. It's big. It's got the appeal for everyone. You know, so I don't see, but I don't think it's any better than Writing to Reach You and Driftwood.
That brings us neatly on to talking about Nigel Godrich, who produced the album. I don't know why I'm telling you guys that. That was that a coup? Was he kind of just was he actually bumming around looking for work at that time? Because he was a mate. So he was. I mean, he was the biggest producer in the world at the time.
Yeah, and we met Nigel through Ultrasound.
Wow.
Ultrasound and us toured on the Bratz tour with Catatonia.
Yeah, Bratz with a Z. Yeah.
The NME thing and the early kind of thing. And then
what was Ultrasound's amazing song? Was it Stay Young?
Stay Young.
Stay Young, yeah.
So Ultrasound did that with Nigel. Yeah. They recorded a single, and I think it was Stay Young. And they asked us, because they met us on tour, we all got on.
Yeah.
We had a right laugh. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And they asked us to come to the studio and be the sort of Gary Glitter, hey, and
doing the stomping,
rock
and the claps.
Oh, hey.
Because we're very good at the Haze.
Yes, because we had tied to the 90s.
Yeah.
And they were very tickled by all of that and our kind of thing. They got us into the studio and Nigel was doing it, and that's where we met Nigel. And we were like, oh my God, Nigel Godrich.
How do you guys work in the studio? Do you do it all as live?
Live.
Do you do it all live?
That's Nigel.
Yeah, this record, that's his things, live to tape, because he's actually, although you think of him as kind of the futuristic kind of sci-fi boffin type, the things that he really likes are kind of quite traditional. He likes the kind of like his favourite drum sound ever is a hunky dory. That's the drum sound that he says he's spent his life trying to replicate, you know. And so it's that kind of again kind of an earthy, organic, autumnal kind of feel to it, you know. And he was just I mean, it's funny kind of listening to Driftwood because preparing for the Man Who shows, you know, you go back and listen to the record.
Yeah.
And Driftwood was the one that was like, oh, that sounds incredible. Just when it starts.
Well, it does. I mean, and when you're listening back to the album with a pair of headphones on, I don't know whether it's a little mastering trick or whatnot, but there's a little boost. There's a boost when it kicks in. It's like whoa, it takes you. Yeah.
But that's Mike Hedges,
right?
One of his.
So he's got great pop sensibility, hasn't he?
He's one of the greatest vocal compers you've ever seen, and I mean that vocal on Rain and the vocal on Turn. Nigel, on the other hand, doesn't comp that much. He tries to go for the full. Yeah. But Mike wants the.
He's forensic about it. He likes the platonic ideal vocal, you know.
So he'll make you sing 15 vocals, and then he'll do like a sort of league table. He'll do 2 different sessions, and he'll do the winner of this one and the winner of that one, and eventually boil it down so you get this uber incredible vocal. So we had, if anyone watching or listening to this, go and listen on headphones to those 2 vocals compared with other vocals on the album.
Yeah, well, it's I was going to talk when we come to Turn in a minute because it's the vocal performance on the album. I think it's just.
So guys, our next song I'm going to wait is Why Is It Always Rain on Me? So we'll just listen to this.
The strangest feeling you belong. Why does it always rain on me? Is it because I lied when I was 17? Why does it always rain on me? Even when the sun is shining, I can't avoid the lightning. I can't stand myself.
So, Andy, you go first. Why Is It Always Rain on Me?
Just quickly as well, going back to your point, I had a wee look through set lists for Travis, and it's quite amazing because Turn and Sing always seem to reverse order all the time.
Is the last 2 songs?
As the last 2 songs.
Yeah.
So either Turn comes in 6th or Sing comes in 6th, and then the other one's last.
All right.
So whatever one they play halfway through the set, they play that last the next time or something like that. It's quite weird. Yeah.
So what do you? Why Is It Always Rain on Me, Andy? What you giving that out of 10?
Massive. It put them on the map again. You know, it did it for them. I like it. I think it's just one of these songs where it's everybody can, you know, everybody has that moment. You know, why is it always me? You know, and I think that kind of finds that. So for me, it was a 9. You know, it's the best song on the album. It makes the album, and it did wonders for Travis again.
Yeah, I gave it an 8. It's a song that I reckon it's their Wonderwall. It's their Best of You, Many a Horror, and the more, if you're a fan of them, the more you listen to it, you might get annoyed, but you've got to rate it and what the song's like when you first hear it. Mm-hmm. I love it, and I don't hear it enough, and it's one of these songs I don't play all the time, but when you hear it, it's good. It's a crowd pleaser, and for any band in the world, any musician to write a song that's a crowd pleaser, I mean, you've got to get hats off to them, whether you like the song or not, whether it's too commercial. There's no many folk can write a song that the bands strive to do that. So 8 out of 10 for me. What about yourself, Nick?
I just think it's like, as you're saying, it's one of these songs that I don't think much of because you're just so used to it. You know what I mean? But as you're saying, going back to it being when it was first out, it is a brilliant song, and like it's so tough to kind of write a song like that. You know, if you're at a party, you just kind of brought your guitar and you're like, I kind of wrote this. You'd be like, holy fuck, that's amazing. You know what I mean?
Do you take your guitar to parties?
We wanted to have good parties with the guitar. It's just so happened to be there. So
have you ever been with a young lady and the date's not going too well, and you just reach over her shoulder as if to cuddle her, and she's thinking he's going to cuddle me here, and then just pull the guitar out and then play a wee song?
No, that has never happened. No, but that song, if you're doing it live, it's like, as you say, it's one of these ones I don't really think much of. For me, Driftwood's the best song on the album, but I think when you play that live, that gets a better reaction than any Travis song.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just a total sing along. But I think what's good about it is like the lyrics are so depressing. Like, why do you rain on me? You know what I mean? It's just this kind of like. I think the line he got was, "I can't sleep tonight.
Right.
Everybody's saying everything is all right," and that's because he got a phone call from his manager when Good Feeling was out, and it was like, "Look, Fran, Good Feeling's bloody going down the charts, man. It's like slipping, but it'll be fine. It'll be fine." So that was his line. He was like, "Right, okay, I can't sleep tonight." 'Cause he was thinking about it. Everything's going to be all right. So that's where that came from. And then Why Is It All Ruining Me he was in Israel. He went there to write some songs because it was sunny. It just started pissing down with rain, and he's like, "That's where that came from." I'm in
Israel and it's bloody raining. I know.
Exactly. But,
it's relatable. That's what Blair Caddis has written. I love everything about it. Everyone can relate to it in some way or another. Driving that big fancy motor that you've got, Why Is It Always Raining on Me? Wish it rained on me with motors like that. So what is it you're giving it?
I'm giving that. I'm giving that the same as Turn, an 8.
8. Adrian, the amazing drummer you are. Adrian, you've listened to this album. Is there going drumming wise? Like, is there? You've listened to the whole album. What is like? I don't know much about drumming. Is it just standard drumming, or is the guy like doing things that's kind of special?
On the subject of the drummer, what is his name? Neil. I don't know his surname, but his first name's Neil. He actually dived into a pool on a holiday somewhere and like fractured his back because the pool wasn't deep enough.
Neil Primrose.
There's a fact for you. Reading about that. Dived in the pool, was too shallow, and did like spinal damage, and like he's got like metal plates and everything in his spine.
He's lucky.
In his neck. Yeah. So, but probably actually, what's on the start of The Fear is quite cool. Quite cool drum. But the rest of it's quite standard. But again, it works. I mean, you couldn't play fancy licks or fancy fills. Everything fits. So
what about the song "Why Is It Always Raining on Me"? What do you think of that as a song itself?
Obviously, again, it's another one of their singles, so that song's up there. So it is, and like Nick was saying, I think if you played Driftwood, like everyone will know the lyrics to "Why Does It Always Rain on Me," whereas they might not know all the lyrics to Driftwood. It's not really a song that you'll get the crowd to sing back to you, whereas that one is. And I think it's another song that also has my structure that I like. So it's got a verse, it's nice and quiet, and it builds into that pre-chorus, starts building. As soon as it hits that pre-chorus, you know what's coming. And then you're back into the chorus. So it's got some good light and shade, as we would say.
And what's your score for Why Is It Always Raining on Me?
I give that an 8. An 8 out of 10.
Right, so we're average, you to count that up in my head, 8 and 9, and then 8 and 8. So that's divided before 8.2. Right. So that right now that's up there with Driftwood. Is
I think these are very good average scores that are coming in. Looking at that, I think they're quite fair. To be fair, I think they're
Aye, but that's wait though, because it's this next part of the album.
But is this not coming in?
Sorry?
Is this the average results I'm seeing coming in?
This is the average that we've done already. Yeah. Last laugh 5 turn. Right, so the next song is called Love. Let's have a listen to that.
And distance tells you that distance must come between love. Where have you been, love?
Okay, then definitely a Sunday night song, I'd say. What do you think about that? Let's start with Andy.
I mean, I don't think you can. Like, where do you go after you've just had like Driftwood, The Last Laugh, Turn? Why is it always 8? Where do you go after that?
Looking at your scores, this is the one I was going to ask you about. So, As You Are in The Last Laugh are 5, and then your score for what did you give this one?
Yeah, I quite like this one. I quite like that. I gave it a 6.
A 6, yeah.
I think sometimes though that when you listen to something, I mean, when you listen to something, it depends on what kind of mood you're in. And I quite like the song. I like the song.
Yeah, because I gave it a 5, so is that my lowest score? I think coming out after Why Does It Always Rain on Me, where it's a sad song lyrically, with a kind of quite a happy, and then this is more. Is this a positive song, but with
Kind
a
of
sad
feeling.
tune? The one thing I love about that song is the guitar, the acoustic guitar sound, how clean it is, how strummy it, and how kind of loose it sounds. That's nice. I like that. They've got the guitar sound great, but I'm just going to move on with that and say that's a 5. Nick?
That's one of these. I was speaking to my mates about obviously saying doing the podcast, like who loved Trap. How would you rate that song? And it was so mixed, man. Some of them were like, some will like give it an 8, some will like 4. It's just one of these songs you either love or hate, I think. But it doesn't really do much for me, to be fair. But that's a song that's written about him. Basically, he actually sent his girlfriend the demo when they broke up. I get back with her saying, "I wrote you this song," and said that. Which did
she chuck him?
Aye, she chucked him. So he was like, "This is about him basically saying I want to get back with you," and she just didn't want to do with him. But it doesn't really do much for me. But I think
could they not have sent her like Driftwood or something? He must have not really fancied that.
That was written about her. So you'd be like, "Send her that." Never mind love. But
all right.
Then again, that is one of these songs when you strip it down, see just doing an acoustic guitar, it is brilliant. But it's just, I think it fits the album well. But for me, it's I think I gave that a 5.5. I think that is.
Adrian.
That was my lowest scoring song off the album. Again, like Nick says, it's kind of almost like another filler in it. It's just, it's in the album. Probably like playing acoustic guitar would be good, but again, it's got a place in the album from that. But I only gave it a 4 because, again, it doesn't really do much for me. I found it quite boring, and probably one that I would skip 10 times out of 10.
Okay then, guys, we'll go straight into the next song. This is called "She's So Strange." Nick, you get anything in this before we play it? Like
any what? Sorry.
Any info in this song before we play it?
I've got info that's the worst song on the album.
You're no
like kind of things. It's about a petty criminal, and that's about all of it.
Black moustache, and she pilfered all the petty cash. She went to Birmingham. She'll soon be in the can.
Right, I love that lyric. She went to Birmingham. She'll soon be in the can. I absolutely. So when I heard that, I'm like, I love that lyric. That's brilliant. But anyway, Adrian, what about yourself? With "She's So Strange"?
I remember when I first got the album years ago. Actually, I liked that song, but in recent years, again, it's another song that doesn't really do much for me. Every time I listen to it, again, it's different. Sometimes I'll think, oh, that's actually okay. I quite like that. And other times, I'm just nah. It's from there. So I rated that only a 5.
5.
For me, like it doesn't really do much. I think it fits the album well, but I refuse to believe that he did not have better suited songs he could have put in there. For me, it's a 4. I don't have nothing much to say about it. I don't know. I've not really listened to it and not skipped it without. You know what I mean? It's more. Maybe, I don't know. Nothing much to say about it. For me, it's a 4.
Somebody's doing the washing behind you.
I just do not like the song at all.
And does the person who's drying the bras in the background, do they? What?
That is well, Liam's sitting here. Liam's like, Liam just said to me when you played it, he's like, what is it? He goes, I love that song. I'm like, but he is.
What would Liam give it?
Liam, what would you give?
It's a 6. It's not the best song on the album. Definitely not.
He likes it.
It's a good song, man.
So
Blair Caddis loves it. He's saying it's a 3.
Upside.
I think worst song on the album for me, easily.
Andy.
I like the song. It's got a kind of like a Fake Plastic Trees Radiohead vibe going on.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I like that. So I gave it a 6. But the problem I had with the end of this album was that I couldn't differentiate like what any of these songs were any better than each other. Do you know what I mean? I've got the average set list for the tour for the Man Who, right? And it goes, all I want to do is rock.
Good feeling.
Yep. Writing to Reach You.
Yeah.
As You Are. The Fear. Driftwood. Why Is It Always Raining Me? Good Day to Die.
All right. Okay.
Turn. Come Around. Slideshow. And then Blue Flashing Light.
Was that the last one? So they didn't play Tied to the 90s or anything like that?
They actually, She's So Strange isn't on the set list.
No. Well, next song we're going to do is the final song in the album, but there is a hidden track which we've rated as well.
Yep.
And this one is called Slideshow.
'Cause there is no desire for life. There's no devil's haircut in my mind. There is not a wonder wall to climb or step around. But there is a slideshow and it's so slow, flashing through my mind.
Okay then, so we're going to start this one. So that was Slideshow, the last one on the album. We're going to start this one with Adrian.
We can hear you.
To me, it almost feels like an unfinished song. I mean, it almost still has that kind of demo feel to it when I listen to it. I mean, I suppose like a lot of albums, their last song can sometimes just be something that trails away or something that tapers off. And for me, like that's kind of what that song sounds like for me. So kind of not finished, and just a bit like a demo song. So I only gave that a 4.
4. Nick.
Harsh. I like it. I like the fact the lyrics tie in with the opening thing of Writing to Reach You, like what's the Wonderwall anyway. Then it comes back to like the last, so-called last track now, and mentions like Oasis. What is it? There is no. What is it? There is no
design for life. There's no devil's haircut in my mind. That's Beck.
Actually features Beck and then Oasis in it.
Oasis.
Yeah. And what did you give that, Nick, out of 10?
I gave that song 2 seconds. I thought it was better than The Fear, to be honest, but not as good as You Are, so I gave it a 6.5.
6.5. Andy?
I gave it a 6. As I said, last 3 songs of the album for me, I don't think there's any of the 3 songs any better than any of the other ones on the album. But overall, the album's a tremendous album. Listening to it, I never actually knew until today that the guy that produced it was also the OK Computer producer. And now listening to it, you can actually hear a similarity between the two.
I've only heard a few songs for OK Computer. I've not heard the whole thing. I think later we're going to be doing the Bends by Radiohead. But OK Computer, I may actually listen to that in the van the morning. So Andy, you gave that a 6 for Slideshow. I gave it a 7. I love that song. I've always loved it.
I'd say, Scott, my wee bro Fish, Paul is not the biggest man, but see that song, he absolutely loves it.
Yeah, I love it. I love playing it. It's something I'll sit up. I like playing it in the guitar. I like it it's different. You have to move your fingers a bit. It's quite hard to play and sing, but I like it. I love the chorus. So I gave that a 7. This is the last song of the album, and then we'll get our album score. But this is the brilliant Blue Flashing Light. I absolutely love this song.
Saturday evening, 4:45, I would see him arrive at the door. Pushed you aside as he staggered inside, spitting alcohol over the floor. A storm is a brew and it's sure to fall soon as I look at you from the shore. So you better hold on, 'cause it's Saturday night and your friends are all out, and you feel like shit 'cause they never called you.
Okay then, so that's the final song of the album. It's the hidden track. It comes in 6 minutes into Slideshow. I'll go first with this one. I gave this one an 8. It's just a great song. It's a brilliant song. So I gave that an 8, and it was a great song to finish the album. And even as Andy says, a band will only put a song last if it's if the fans like it to go away with, and they finish tours or finish concerts with that. So 8 out of 10.
Do you want to know something? I think that the song almost sounds like it was just done in one take.
That's a demo.
It's a brilliant song.
Aye.
It's an absolute topper of a song, you know, and I marked this down for the fact that it wasn't on the album. You know, they've hid it away at the back of another song. But I understand because it doesn't fit the album. But it's a great song.
So what did you go? So I went 8. Nick,
I gave it a 7.
I went a 7 as well. Aye, 7.
And Adrian, you've listened to the lyrics and you don't agree with the song with your score. Is that correct? You're not into all that stuff.
Well, actually, like probably I would. That's the one song that I'd probably change my rating if I was to go back. I'd probably put that higher.
All right, yeah.
That, but I think like it's just totally different from everything on that album.
So guys, so Adrian, what you gave that what?
I only gave that a 6.
A 6. So let me do my adding up again. 8 plus 7 plus 7.
You know what actually reminded me of? It reminded me a bit of Yes Dragon.
No.
Like there's some like little bits in it that actually.
Lyrically, aye.
Aye.
Yeah. I get you there. Yeah. Right. So so here's all our scores. So it's writing to reach you 8 points. They're all going along the bottom. But our favourite song of that album, like us all together, it's between Driftwood and Why Is It Always Rain on Me. Adrian, you would have scored this album a 6 out of 10. Andy would have been 6.6. Nick 6.7. I would have scored it 7 out of 10. So the album total. So the Pelikan podcast with our guest Nick Morgan has scored The Man Who 6.5 out of 10, so that makes it number 1 in our list. So we're 6.5 out of 10. To Heathen Chemistry by Oasis last week was 6.4. So Nick, Nick, thanks for listening last week, and then you obviously got us to play that. We'll get you back on again to do the Strokes album. So we'll talk to you a wee bit. But before we do that, Nick's a singer and songwriter, guitarist for Presswick. There's a few things I want to ask Nick. He can have the song to think about this. If he could share the Gerry Cinnamon story with us.
Right, okay.
But we'll if he can just work out how he's gonna share that story, because when I heard it was like, oh my god, it was absolutely brilliant. But this is our man Nick, and this is his tune. This is Save Rome.
1, 2, 3, 4. Told you, don't say I told you so. want you. Don't say I want you so. I know it wasn't what you said. The fire was running through your head. There's a fire in my soul, and it's losing all control. Through the gates of hell you'll go. You burn your bridges as you know. Oh, I wanna stay home, but I gotta save room. Oh, I wanna stay home, but I gotta save room.
Right, Nick, that song's absolutely amazing, my man. I love that.
Absolutely class.
No, cheers.
So what's
as I said,
that about? What's that about? Sorry, what's that song about? Save Rome.
It's basically about like it's just about deceiving lies and like not trusting folk, and you know what I mean, like
yeah.
Too much his new girlfriend.
I don't know, like folk warn you for not necessarily do a girl, but anything like don't say I told you, don't say I warned you. Like I can see in your eyes, like deceiving all lies. It's just a kind of.
Is this you telling folk that, or is it something folks been telling you and you just thought I'm going to write a song about that, or is it? In fact, we're not getting it. It might be personal, so that's nothing to do with it. But that's what it's about.
No, it's more like like I've just kind of write a song and I thought, right, okay, this is no one. I don't ever write a song thinking I'm going to write a song about this. I'll just kind of like start playing a melody, then get a melody and thinking, okay, that kind of goes with that, and then just go along with it, and that's going to be the vibe of this, or the kind of theme of the song. So, as I say, it's just about kind of deceit and lies and not trusting folk. And
so that's good, because it's a negative message, but quite a happy song. You know. So.
But the thing is, I did record it again. I've done another version, but as you say, the verse starts off in like rather than doing like C, it goes to the kind of relative minor. So I do it in like kind of 8. Like I'll kind of go like that. Sorry, can I do this and that? So
yeah, definitely, yeah.
So I told you so, but then I thought it'd be quite cool with the kind of A minor. So kind
of yeah.
Don't sit, Marlon. Don't. It's too like. Don't say I told you. But then to the. Don't say I told you.
Yes, it's the C to the A minor.
But basically, swap the C for the relative minor, the A minor.
Yeah. And who were the guys you recorded that with? Who were the other guys that you were playing with? The keyboard player.
John Rankin. I seen him. I was in. You've been like Corinthian nightclub.
Mm-hmm.
And below you've got you used to have the casino in the nightclub.
See the pianist at the Corinthian.
Oh,
is he playing the?
When he used to play the piano bar up the stairs.
The piano bar, is he the pianist? Is he? Alright, I didn't know that.
He's absolute brilliant. You see, I was going to Corinthian for years, like, and never went upstairs. And one night I went upstairs, it was just like on the piano, like John Rankin. Mm-hmm. And like no one was really in. A couple of folk, you could just sit at the piano asking for songs that you play errands. So I got to know John. Got my few gigs at the Taj and Prestwick, kind of piano nights.
Yeah.
And they kind of helped me out in that track, and he was like, "I'll do it." And then the young guy's a guy I went to college with, Lewis. I think he's on like 18-year-old, but he's brilliant guitar. So
really good. Before we go, did you enjoy that, Nick? Did you enjoy talking about Travis?
Loved it. I'm up for doing like another album with the Strokes or something down the line, but it was good.
Yeah,
it'd be great if you could come on and do some of your own stuff, Nick. Because I think
talking about Save Rome and that, I'd love to just kind of come in and talk about.
Of course. No, that'd be brilliant.
I've seen you loads, Nick, play your acoustic gigs, and I'm always like, chuck some of your, like Ricky Mackay. Ricky does it. Ricky chucks some of his own songs in there, and it only takes one guy to go, or somebody to go, what was that song you played? And then you go, that's fucking one of my songs, by the way. And then right, anyway, Adrian, you get in? Andy, you had.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you. According to nickmorganmusic.co.uk,
you got a website.
You've got a songbook with 22 pages. How many of the 22 pages do you know off by heart?
Oh, that's a good question. It's
With like your iPad in front of you.
But there's some ridiculous tracks in that. I don't know, like it's.
So you've got a guitar beside you, right?
Aye.
Right, pick up your guitar, go.
You're gonna hit me. You're gonna hit me with one of these songs to see if I know it or what's the.
Brilliant.
Give me a bit of Hotel Yorba by the White Stripes, go.
Okay. Okay. It might sound funny. I'm down my knees. I'm so tired of acting tough, and I've got to do what I please. Let's get married. Bobby kisses your body, please. I'm the man that you love the most. You can say I do at least. Well, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, take the Alabama at the hotel. Yo, but I'll be glad to see you later. All we do inside is making a scene. Well, it's 4, 5, 6, 7, way umbrella. I don't know the lyrics, but I.
Well done, man.
Oh, that's
Morgan on demand. Yes.
Right, Nick. So before we go, I'll just make sure you're unmuted. So I was in the Bar Central one day, and Nick was in. I think Stan was in as well, his brother, and he was telling us a wee story about Gerry Cinnamon. So let's hear that. Blair Caddis, he's away. Good listen, catch you lads. Hopefully next week. Thanks for listening, Blair. Paul Morgan's looking for some happy hardcore. And Jackie, Nick just looks so happy when he picks up his guitar.
Cheers, Jackie.
Right, so tell us the Gerry Cinnamon story. Go.
So basically, I must have been about 24, maybe about 12 years ago, and I thought, right, okay, I'll do a kind of a happy hardcore. I went on YouTube and I searched. There was no like kind of happy hardcore acoustic versions like melodies. I thought, okay, medleys. So I was like, I'll just kind of mix in like Children of the Night, Power of Love, Forever Young, and a few others. So I just like
I've heard you doing that. Did
a wee demo and then put it on like YouTube. So it must have been on for about like, as I say, about maybe 12 years now up on YouTube. So obviously when Gerry Cinnamon came about, he started doing a live version of like a kind of similar thing, Discoland and that, right? But obviously he's never seen my videos or anything. You know what I mean? Like, he's just done it at the same time. You know what I mean? So I'm like, oh, but I had folk text me saying he stole your idea. I was like, no, he's not. It's just like, you know what I mean? Bollocks. So do you know Graham McCaig?
Yeah.
So McCaig was like one of these guys. He stole it. I'm like, he's not. I goes, it's just picked up a guitar and done a happy hardcore cover. It's not like anyone does it. So he was like, I'm texting him. I was like, what? So he went on Gerry Cinnamon's Facebook page, but just for a total laugh, like thinking he wouldn't reply. He was like, so this is McCaig's text to Gerry Cinnamon. Good afternoon. That's honestly, this is so. Good afternoon, Gerald. After my very good friend Jacqueline, I think Jackie Dickey, who I may add is a big fan of yours, informed me to check out your stuff. I made the shock discovery whilst listening to your song Discoland. Correct me if I'm wrong, Gerry, but there is a remarkable evidence to Presswick's answer to X Factor's Darius Dinesh. Happy Hardcore Mega. He put the link in. Would you like to confirm or deny that you clearly watched Nicholas's performance in Scuffy's bar press at one Friday evening and helped oneself to his idea? Like you're like, okay. He texts that for a joke saying, like, okay, very good, mate. He's not going to reply. Gerry Cinnamon replies with the line of that was the 20th of 10s. He replied 14 minutes later.
So it wasn't as if it was like as if it was like days later. It was like I was quite rapid, aye.
Right, you pellet. This band ain't my song. Never heard of the cunt you mentioned. Been playing that ever since I was a Wayne. Don't need to watch the video. Been to press it once. You asked me to correct you if you were wrong. You're wrong. Keep your shite part to yourself. All the best. Your dad. So McKay's like, brilliant. So McKay replies with, well, like, bloody hell's your plan? This is madness. Come on, Gerry, my pal. You fell for that one. Hook, line, and sinker. Plus, I know you watched the video. I checked the views before I sent the first message. And it unsurprisingly went up one. If you don't want to admit your actions to me, we could settle this on an episode of Driftwood. P.S. Can you please refrain from calling my best like a cunt? He's actually a nice guy. Who'd you like to meet very much? So that was Gerry Cinnamon. Thank you for the happy hardcore.
You seen the one where he goes for the guy on the stage?
He goes
mental on the stage. I think the guy threw something there.
No, I've seen that one.
No, I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. So
I like him, man. I like his journey. I think he's done really well.
See that song, Sun Queen's absolutely brilliant.
Brilliant, love it. Right, guys, that's all we've got time for the night. Then, thanks again to Andy. Cheers, Andy, and Adrian as well. Adrian's first appearance on the podcast. I'm sure we'll be doing a music one as well, and I'm sure you'll be on when we do Radiohead as well. But Nick, thanks again for coming on, and thanks for being absolutely brilliant. You were brilliant with your research in the Man Who.
Oh, thanks.
But thanks again, Nick.
No,
brilliant, and be good to see you out and about again. I hope this ends quick for you, so you can get back out and doing what you love.
Thanks for having me on. Enjoyed the night a lot.
All right, guys. So thanks everybody who watched as well. I'll edit this and we'll be putting it on YouTube along with last week's on YouTube, so you can hear. Going to finish with next song, and this is called She Said.
Try to stay the night until day. Wishful thinking on her part, 'cause I won't have a change of heart. I don't care for you no more. I don't care, get out the door. But don't go too far away. My mind changes every day. And then she said, why you making me feel blue? And I said, it's not me, it must be you. What's through? To come around here moping like you do. I said was true. Since I told you